Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we're here, of course, with some more iRacing. This time around we're here with the VRS GT3 series from Monza. Now this might be the most impromptu intro to a video I'll ever run on the channel. I was planning on starting this one from the back anyway, but then couldn't connect to the server, so I managed to grid up with 20 seconds left on the clock. Now, I've already actually attempted this race once before this week. Unfortunately, didn't quite go perfectly and then had some issues with the recording anyway, so I thought it's Monday night, final race of 2023, Season 1, Week 1. But we'll jump back in. We'll see how this goes tonight. I desperately need some SR. If you watched the race from a couple of days ago with the F4 cars, you'll know, yeah, we're not in a particularly great place at the moment, 1.0 on the old SR. So if we have a bad race here in terms of instance, we're back to B license. So it is all about trying to hang on to the SR that I've got at the moment. So I thought we'll start at the back. We'll try to avoid the carnage here. Starting P28 as the number 25 car. If we get I rating, great. But yeah, I'm just worried about the SR, of course. Already got my MPR for this week. But yeah, fingers crossed we can just get a good, clean rating and actually make it to the checkered flag as well. There is at the final corner, waiting for the green flags to come on. I absolutely love the Lambo around this circuit. Just sounds incredible as well, of course, with the V10. Massive updates to the GT3s as we head into the new season as well. And honestly, I find the Lambo a lot better than I ever have done before as we head down in towards Monza Turn 1 for the first time. Ferrari in front of me, that is brave, I think is the way we're going to describe that one. There's plenty of contact from the cars in front. And we are going to get a 0x. Luckily it is only a 0x there. Yeah, got to be really, really careful though. Like I said, I've already done one race this week actually in this car track combo. Got to be really careful actually with a lot of the curbing around here, where this Lamborghini of course is so low hung, especially through a Scari. If you clip the curbs, you're going to be in quite a world of hurt. Like I said, I did this race a couple of days ago. More incidents kicking off, so we will claim the freebie there. Another one over on the right hand side, but yeah, so I haven't actually done any practice laps today in this, so it's kind of just going to be the first few laps of winding it back up, trying to remember what we're doing. And then later on, hopefully we can try and get into the swing of things, as please don't rejoin. Oh, it's stressful. It's stressful, my job. You know, it just, you get things like that constantly that are just quite scary. So we head down in towards Ascari then for the first time. Luckily, somehow we are going to make it, hopefully going to make it through this first lap without any instant points. But like I said, I'm not really going to take big risks today. Yeah, no, like I said, if we can recover iRacing, great. I'm just interested in SR, which I know I say quite a lot, and often it doesn't go quite well, but this time I know I really, really mean it. We can't do really more than 4x, I would have thought, in this race in the perfect world. As at the final corner, there is still quite a large gaggle of cars just up the road there. We've got a big, big gap behind us, though, so I'm not too sure what else has kicked off. We started P28. Where are we going to be at the end of lap 1? P20, okay. So I didn't realise we made up 8 spots from all of that, but that's instantly recovered. 50 I rating on the opening lap. Let's back down in towards the first corner. Just waiting to see if there's any more carnage. I love just how much variety you still get in the VRS race there. We've literally got BMW, Porsches, Ferraris. There's more carnage. A Merc there. A Ferrari in the wall. Please don't rejoin, thank you. I guess this is what happens on a Monday night, of course. Everyone's desperate just to try and pick up the last scraps of iRacing for the week's worth of action, of course. For those of you that aren't aware, all resets on a Tuesday. So people, yeah, maybe, you know, a bit more comfortable with the combo, feel they can take bigger risks, and mistakes clearly are coming out there as into the Lesmos for the second time. That Porsche giving the Bimmer a big old squeeze. We've got more. There's even more. What on earth is that? There's Audi parked on the apex. Oh, he's steady on. Lambo? Yeah, V10 Lambos though. I do sometimes worry that this might be the last V10 Lamborghini we get in the future, you know, whether they're going to move to V8s or whether we're going to see something else go down as well, you know, with all the hybrid technology stuff. But yeah, you've got to love a big V10 screaming Lamborghini, especially around a track like the Temple of Speed. The Lambo has come home this week. We've got another slow car then as we come towards the end of lap 3. First one into the pit lane. As now we've got Renault in the McLaren gaining massively on me at the final corner. He's going to go to the outside for whatever reason. So we head back down on the run towards turn 1. We're drag racing against the Macca. We're going to break at about the 150 metre board in towards the first corner, and luckily he's just going to slot back in behind us there. I feel like we have got the pace to keep up with the cars in front. Like I said, I want to sort of take the first 5 or 6 laps just to settle back in, get sort of my bearings back with this combo as well, and just make sure that I don't overstep the mark. You've got to slowly build up to it rather than go all out and then drop back down to it. That's kind of my mindset tonight. But we'll see if we can try and hang a bit closer so we're not completely vulnerable to the slipstream behind us. You've got to be so careful running out wide there in towards the second, sorry, on the exit even of the second chicane, because it can really trip you over, especially in these big GT3 cars. You know, you just run a wheel out in the sand, traction control kicks in, cuts the power to one side, and you're pirouetting normally into an Armco at that corner. But there seems to be more battles now going on in front of me. BMW and Porsche now trying to dispute P13 here, as we are already up to positive iRacing, which is quite funny, considering I don't think I've actually pulled off a legitimate move so far. Fantastic move there, though, by the BMW. Speaking of overtakes, right around the outside, full commitment, and also, you know, hats off to Martin as well. Respect to him for giving him the room and allowing him space around the outside, because a lot of drivers would have kept the nose in, barged him through the sandpit. So we've got BMWs going side by side just in front. Porsche is not going to get the run off of the first turn there. We're going to have to try and move to the outside, but I don't think we're going to really be able to do anything with it. So we head through Curva Grande, may as well just slip back in, try and pick up a little bit of slipstream there. Is he now going to try and sit defensive? We'll have a look to the inside, but I won't go for anything. See if we can try and force an error out of him. No, he actually gathers it up quite nicely. Team reckon there's about only 25 minutes, of course. It is Monza, probably the most, up there with Le Mans, for probably the circuits that will require the most refueling. Of course, like I said, I've already done one race, so I know it's about 9 or 10 gallons to see us through to the end. Sadly, however, I don't know whether you can actually change tyres now. Of course, we've got the new tweaks that mean you refuel and change tyres all at the same time, but I don't know whether it's worth doing it in one of these sprint races, so I don't think I'll risk it today, as Porsche just having a sniff there at the inside of the cars in front. Seems like the white BMW is a little bit vulnerable, as we've got to be so careful over that. Those 3 little sausage curbs there, they can absolutely send you on a one-way ticket to the gravel. You just knock the front wing, oh sorry, the front splitter even, and it just pings the car off in any which way. So yeah, got to be super careful of that. So the Lambo is fast, but it is rather fragile. I think it's probably the right way to describe it. You know, you've really got to try and drive it, you know, close to the limit. But you put this thing on the limit, I mean, it's a Lamborghini. It will try to kill you at some point or another. That's just a fact. So you just got to treat it with respect, everything like that. As Porsche now again have a look for a move back in towards the first corner, but it's also a Lambo with a good pair of lungs on it. So you head back down in towards turn 1. Not a bad soundtrack on this thing. There's our BMW there. Oh, I was so worried about the McLaren then suddenly trying to get a cutback, but we might be able to get a run on Jimmy as we head out of the first couple of turns. Let's wait and see what we can do there, as the Porsche has got quite far away immediately to the inside of the 13. I think this time round we've just got to try and go for it.
Still there.
Very, very late on the brakes, but we slow it down nicely. Of course, you can lean a little bit more now on the ABS than back in the day, and especially the more updated GT3 cars. They're not so bad, but yeah, now we've got a bit of a gap back up to Martin up the road, as already blue flags. That's quite impressive. What, 10 minutes in there or thereabouts? Yeah, 10 minutes in, pretty much on the dot actually, so up to P13 though. We're making good moves. Oh, blue flags, come on mate. He's been a real nightmare with the Porsche in front of me, to be honest. Probably, yeah, it's cost him a good second or so, so fingers crossed the 29 does jump out of the way for me quite nicely. I mean, it is a road race, you know, it's not on the ovals in NASCAR. Blue flag rules do certainly apply, but he doesn't seem particularly willing to obey them, or at least if he is, he's certainly waiting his sweet time to let other cars through there. It was actually a really nice run through the second chicane that time round. I'm not particularly great with some of the corner names, especially the chicanes around this Monza circuit. Of course, everyone knows Ascari, Parabolica, the Lesmos. Curva Grande, I know one of them is the Rettifilio, but I can't remember whether it's Chicane 1 or Chicane 2, and I don't want to look like a mug if I get it wrong. We need to try and get back past this 29 though. Come on, move out of the way, please. So we're now starting to take a bit of time out of the 29 on the run towards turn 1. I wonder if he's just got a bit of aero damage. So hopefully now just going to look to the inside and he'll back out of it.
Car left.
Doesn't really want to brake earlier than he has to. But luckily will back out, and now we're inside the range of the Porsche once again. You've got to try and use that inside curb down at turn 1. It's really weird, but you kind of bobble the car and it tips it through quite nicely quite often now. I certainly wouldn't rely on it every time round. I know a lot of the iRacing pros do, but and we now trying to apply more pressure to Martin. We really are just settling in though at the moment. 1/3 distance already ticked off. Haven't really had a chance to breathe up to now. It's been a lot of trying to avoid cars, as that is not the line through the second chicane by him, but I don't really do much better.
How could he keep on? Just been ahead. Go to Parabolica.
Oh. Someone's gone round at Parabolica. Are we going to see some carnage? We've got Audi re-emerging. Is this going to be a freebie as he tries to stay out of the way of the Porsche? We're going to try and use the slipstream as we head back down towards turn 1. Bit of an odd place to bin it unless there's been some contact, but the Audi seems to be pretty clean and tidy still. It's this Lambo, when you get it tucked up in the slipstream, it's not slow by any stretch. Whoa, he's trying to have a look up the inside of the Porsche. We'll just slot back out of that one then, apparently. He's very, very aggressive on the defending. Maybe just a little bit upset about what happened. Perhaps we can try and use this guy. You never know. Marco might be a bit of a loose cannon after that. Oh! I got very worried then that he was going to bin it and I was going to get taken with him, but it's compromised his run down in towards Ascari. So again, we'll have a look to the inside. So let's see what we can do. Will he back out of it?
Still there.
Yes, he will. Just park it nicely on the apex. We've got more battles going on just up in front. So Martin now is back applying pressure to the BMW just in front. This is just constant chaos here at Monza as we've got more blue flags for another car at the road. They're 3 wide. So we head down the back straight. Fingers crossed Stephen's going to back out of it. He's not, in a word. And now he's going to get in my way as we head through the final couple of turns. If you're going to do anything, mate, give me some slipstream. Do us a favour. There we go. Porsche into the pit lane. He's going to peel out of the way on the inside. Are we going to see the Audi go for it again? Back down towards turn 1. I'll see. Yeah, he's not trying to take the slipstream, so I'm not going to worry about it all too much. Always just a good little litmus test of what the car behind you is thinking. Let's just try and pop our way through that first chicane again. So I'm intrigued to see what that Porsche is going to do, where it's going to re-emerge. As I'm now into P11, of course, he's not going to have the advantage of low fuel, but he probably will have clear air. Here we go. Might see the BMW peel into the pit lane then. Yes, there we go. Nathan into the box as it reckons we've got 2 more laps worth of fuel. So there is a bit of strategy coming into this one as we're just setting new PBs lap after lap at the moment. Into the top 10 for the first time as well we go. And now we've just got the green Ferrari in front of me. So we can try and get at least 2 in by the time we box. But yeah, this Lambo, I know I did a season before in this thing a long time ago, I think when it first dropped. I do really like it on iRacing. It has just been a little bit loose and lively in recent seasons, but yeah, with the new patch, of course, big aerodynamic tweaks and tyre model tuning on all the GT3 cars, it seems like some of the mid-engine cars have got a bit more of a fighting chance, as it felt like it was kind of dominated by the M4 and the Merc, and then often the Porsche could hang on because it was rear-engined. So yeah, it feels like the mid-engine cars have had a bit of a renaissance, and that's good for this V10 absolute beast. Oh, that's annoying. First instant point of the day, just ran a little bit wide. Well, actually clipped the curves originally through Ascari, and then just didn't quite have the confidence on the exit of the corner there, as Boris trying to look to the inside. His leader into the pit lane as well then, so come on, trying to get the nose tip through. We don't need to box it, do we? Yeah, we got 1 more lap of fuel, but both Ferraris, clearly a Ferrari's thirstier than the Lambo. That doesn't quite add up in my mind, but it is what it is. Who would have thought the Lamborghini was the economical choice here with 10 cylinders? Right into the pit stop at the end of this one, but definitely we're not as confident through Ascari as Marco just behind me. As you can see how much speed he's gaining down in towards the final corner. As we head through Parabolica. I can say the right letters. Well done, Matt. Let's get the car slowed down nice and tidy. Make sure we don't get rear-ended either. There we go, that's pretty good. On the way in, shortest run to our box. One of the earliest boxes actually in this pit lane. Make sure we get it slowed down on the marks. And yeah, 10 gallons worth of fuel then. Probably a little bit over, actually, what I need to see us through to the checkered flag. But rather just be a little bit over and, of course, a little bit under as well. So yeah, going to give us about 11 laps worth of fuel. 11.6 it reckons. Are we going to be ahead of Marco? That's the real question. Or has he been a little bit braver with it than I have? Oh, we're going to be right behind him. So maybe that will make the difference then later on in this race as we head back out of the pits though. Get rid of those limiters and let's listen to these V10s scream as we head back down towards someone. As here comes Martin in the Porsche. So he's done a very, very good job there to stay ahead. Make sure we don't cross the white line. I really thought that Marco was going to try and keep the nose there, but I'm not 100% sure where we've re-emerged in this race. Of course, we'll get clarification at the end of this lap. I think it's P10. I think. Where are we going to be then in this race at the moment? Marco and Martin just pulling away from me slightly on this outlap there as Miguel's still applying pressure, but P9 still. So if we were to finish here, we get hashtag 44, hashtag blessed amount of SR. Sorry, I-rating even. Hopefully even more SR as well. Martin, he's got a Rosberg down at turn 1. He's going to have to weave his way through those chicanes and we'll have the freebie. Don't know why he completely bailed out of that. It looked like he'd carried a little bit too much speed in, but not that much. Martin has Rosberged it, and now Marco has been given free rein up in front. Got 10 minutes left then of this race, and we are still keeping Miguel at bay for now. Of course, he's got the advantage of slipstream, but he is losing quite a bit in the dirty air as well, of course, behind us through the twisty bits. There we go. Crew chief finally catching up with what's going on. Telling me to get defensive, but yeah, I feel like we are able just to keep him at bay, but it's all about trying to reduce the errors. I'm wondering still whether we could close up to Marco. I mean, we should be pretty happy if we were to finish here. Remember, we were 28th on the grid, but of course, yeah, there's always that, you know, that racing driver instinct within that's like, I just want a bit more. And why wouldn't you want a bit more? Here we go, first lap inside the 147s. I will take that very happily indeed. I know everyone is improving at the moment, but a 47.8, 9 thousandths quicker than Marco that time round. I think we've got to start monitoring those gaps. Just look at how quickly Miguel closes in at turn 1. We'll try and show the nose, but we're going to just keep trying to hit our marks. And that time round, I definitely did not. No! No! Oh, I picked up a slowdown! Gotta let him by. I'm not going to try and screw him or anything like that. Oh, that's so annoying. We just took a bit too much curb there. To be honest, we're quite lucky that we didn't get an instant point for it, so I will take the slowdown rather than that, but yeah, Miguel there was just able to gain so much late on the straights there. He's mighty quick right towards the top end. And we just ran wide there, and to be fair, 1.2 second slowdown. We're only a second down on our delta. We haven't done too badly, and we're still very, very close. Even if he can close up to Marco, that could be quite useful. I can't help but feel that Marco now is just dropping the pace slightly, and Miguel, I feel again like I'm quicker than him now. The slipstream is just so potent around this Monza circuit. 5 minutes to go, probably 4 more laps I reckon. We'll wait and see whereabouts the leader was. That's annoying. That's going to be another instant point. 2x now we're up to, but I think we're still going to be able to get a run on Miguel as we head back down in towards Tomonda. He's not been confident on the brakes the last couple of times round, so we will try and send it to the inside. Risky moves coming in at this point of the day. You know what? He's actually going to hook it up right around the outside there as well. Marco, somehow in front of both of us. That was not what I expected to happen down at turn 1. I had a couple of predictions, but that was not one of them. So now, Miguel and I are duking for P7, not P8. And unfortunately, an instant late on for the Audi. I reckon he watched us battle behind him. Too busy focusing on us rather than what he was doing. And that's gifted us both a freebie. But that's early on the brakes in towards the second chicane. Luckily, ABS will allow us to slow down behind him. Let's see if we can try and get Miguel as well. P7 from 28th on the grid would not be a bad run. Especially when I was only looking for SR today. Right, 2 more laps of racing to go then here from Monza. We might ride with this one then right to the checkered flag, as the battle between myself and Miguel is still not over. I love the fact I go into these going, I'm just here for SR, I don't want battles, but less than 3 minutes on the clock, you gotta go for it, haven't you? We gotta try and see if we can force an error out of him. As back down in towards turn 1. Certainly too far back that time round. So we just try and connect with that second curve and really straighten up the car on the exit. Crew chief, he's getting feisty with me as well. He knows we need to try and make something happen here in these final 2 laps. There might still need to be a bit of sweat, but yeah, we're definitely going to stay on board with this one then. Right to the checkered flag here, as once again VRS GT3 Racing constantly delivers some pretty good material as well. That's a lot of curb there, but the car bounces nicely on the exit. We don't lose too much there as we try to avoid the sandpit on the outside. Just launch it in through the first Lesmo. They get right up towards the gravel though on the exit. That will not do me any favours as we try and head through the second one again. Basically doing the same thing. I don't feel particularly confident into Ascari, but I think honestly the last few laps Miguel has been no better. So we've just got to try and tip it through gently and see, really. I mean, we're trying to set ourselves up for a run back in towards turn 1, aren't we there? As you can see, Miguel quite early on the brakes as well. Try and connect with that second apex. And oh, really gambled it. That final curving can throw you off in all which directions, but we've got away with it that time. The car sat nicely as the lead is into the pits. I don't know why. That's quite confusing. Maybe thought the race was over? I don't know. Perhaps he just doesn't want the iRacing. Who really knows? Back the final corner. Hesitating just a little bit there to get on the throttle, but white flag is now out. And are we going to be able to get the run back down in towards turn 1? I don't think we're quite going to be close enough. I'll show the nose. I'll see if we can force an error. We may as well then. Maybe he'll snag a break or something like that as we'll look. But we'll just spot it at the 150 metre board there and slot back in behind. Can we try and get a good run off the corner though? We do better, but still not quite good enough. We might be able to get a run as we head through Curva Grande. Again, we might just show the nose down at turn 4, but not actually try and commit to anything all too aggressive here. We just got to see if we can try and force an error on this final lap. As again, we'll just show the nose, try and fill the mirrors, and oh, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. Ferrari, they're compromised, but again, he just sits the car perfectly where he needs to. This is a fantastic late race battle between myself and Miguel. Make sure we don't just slew into the back of him through the next couple of turns there. You can see he's trying to push the limits of the circuit as well, but it's all going to come down to the run off Ascari there. We don't get the best run at the second Lesmo. That's going to give him a tiny bit to breathe as we head down into Ascari, but surely he's going to be risk off through here, and to be honest, I feel like we've got to be the same way. But we'll just wait and see. Concentrate, Matt. Sink it in nicely. Oh no, we didn't get the car over the curb in where I needed it. And I think Miguel might now just have done enough as we head down in towards the final couple of corners of this VRS GT3 race. We're going to gain more and more, but unless he gets a horrible run out in the final turn, I don't think it's quite going to be enough. We'll fill the mirrors in towards the final corner. It's been a good late race battle with Miguel. They're full of good, clean racing and respect. He's going to come through for P7, and you know what? He absolutely deserves it. Fair play to him. Out of the final turn. It's going to be P8 for us. Really happy with that one. 20 places gained in 40 minutes. Yeah, can't really complain too much about that. Ooh. Only 2x as well, as we're trying to avoid other cars. Let's get out and have a look at those final race results. Well, there we go then, final race results here from Monza, and it is going to be P7 in the end there. So yeah, I mean, we could have gained slightly more, but Miguel absolutely deserved it, like I said there. Plus 0.28 SR, sorry, plus 57 I rating, both going in the right direction there, so we can't complain too much about that one as well. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed. I'm still not sure why John pit right towards the very end, but it is what it is, I guess. And yeah, we will be back next time out. Week 2 of 2023 Season 1 begins. Don't know what we're going to be racing next, but fingers crossed it's good fun.